Welcome to another episode of Plastic Surgery Uncensored. I'm your host, Dr. Rady Rahban. And in this week's episode, we're going to do a little bit of I hate this subject matter, but unfortunately it's trending and it's popular. And it's a celebrities in plastic surgery. Plastic surgeries in the news through celebrities that are having plastic surgery, whatever you want to call it. And there's a lot of talk about certain celebrities because at the end of the day, they're very visualized and they bring up some topics. The people we're going to chat about are going to be Lindsay Lohan, which you can't go around the corner without hearing about her, Brad Pitt, Demi Moore, and ultimately Christina Aguilera. So let's do a quick dive into each of these people. So number one, I think, first thing is that everyone assumes that the second someone comes on the scene and they look different, oh my God, they had a facelift. Have you guys seen Lindsay Lohan? She's had a facelift. I'm willing to bet you $1 million that Lindsay Lohan has not had a facelift. $1 million. There's just no way she had a facelift. She didn't need a facelift. What she needed is to stop doing drugs, stop drinking, stop staying out late, stop eating processed food, do some lasers, resurface her face, clean up her act, and maybe do a little bit of, fillers and Botox and things like that. Lindsay Lohan is a beautiful young lady who basically was taking terrible care of herself. So just imagine if you guys go 6 months just having a terrible, terrible lifestyle, and then for 6 months you go on a holistic cleanse. Your face right there is going to look significantly different. So I think this whole discussion that Lindsay Lohan had a facelift is just nonsense. I definitely think, and I think there's her dermatologist or some lady that she's in photos with from Dubai or whatever. She's a dermatologist. Dermatologist didn't do a facelift on this lady. So right now, if you look at me, for those of you that are watching and you're wondering why the hell I'm so shiny and why I look so weird, I just had lasers done on Friday, okay? So you resurface your skin, it makes it look cleaner, better quality, clarity. It sounds like a diamond cut, clarity, and color. But lasers are very, very powerful. So I think in the instance of Lindsay Lohan, I think it's definitely lifestyle driven, as well as some very basic things like laser resurfacing. Now, could she have had an upper blepharoplasty? Sure. When I look at her super critically, and the problem with eyes is it depends on if they're mid-blink, if they are looking up or looking down. But having someone in their mid to late 30s or early 40s having had a blepharoplasty doesn't seem outrageous. But for a 30-some-odd-year-old who basically never gained weight, never lost weight, having a facelift, I think, is nonsense. Now, let's then move on to Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt had a facelift. No questions asked, no discussion, 100% Brad Pitt had a facelift, and he should have. I don't think Brad Pitt's in his mid-50s, late 50s, whatever he is, and while he is super handsome and rock-solid facial features, he's aged. And if you look at his pictures before, let's say, his Wimbledon premiere, he had some loose skin in his jawline, a little bit of wrinkles in his mid-face, and definitely some banding in his neck. And if you look at him now, he's the same person, just a little crisper. So for sure, Brad Pitt had a facelift, and that's exactly who the facelift was indicated for. Someone with great genetics, great bone structure, has a little bit of early signs of aging, and you just reverse it before it becomes super old and turkey neck, et cetera, et cetera. Then we shift to Demi Moore. What the hell happened to Demi Moore? I think what happened to Demi Moore is, I think Demi Moore had some terrible plastic surgery done. I don't know if it was either a buccal fat removal and some horrible facelift or something. She looked terrible, and you can see photos of her where it almost has that Joker smile thing where her mid-face was fully gaunt and had a very strong pull. And I think what happened is somebody redid her facelift, filled in some fat in areas that were hollowed out, and now she looks stunning. So nobody really knows, unless these celebrities admit to it, what they've actually had done. But in my opinion, she had a round of bad plastic surgery. Again, probably over-tightened or the wrong vector, right? If I do a facelift and I pull here, it's going to look weird. It's going to pull on my mouth. If I pull upwards, it doesn't pull on my mouth. So I think she had probably another facelift done just to reorient the skin, some fat transfer to make her face a little fuller because she was terribly, terribly gaunt. The last person is Christina Aguilera. And so, again, I think Christina Aguilera falls into that between Lindsay Lohan and Brad Pitt. I definitely know that she lost a boatload of weight on one of these GLP-1 drugs. So any person who loses a lot of weight, automatically their face is going to look snatched. Their jawline is going to start showing up. Their face is going to look more snatched. Then you add a little bit of volume in the mid-face because you'll hollow out. And she may or may not have had what we refer today as prominently a mini facelift. And so that segues me into sort of the biggest trend in 2024, which will then lead into 2025, which is facelifts done in patients in their late 40s, early 50s. So that is the new world of facelifts. Historically, we would do a facelift in someone in their 60s, 70s, right? You'd wait, you'd get super jowly, lots of marionettes, extra skin in your neck, and then you'd go in and have a facelift. And then the transformation would be dramatic. Today, because our techniques are better, more accurate, and less obvious, you can get that same surgery done now in your late 40s, early 50s, when you start to develop the three key components, which is jowling, marionetting, and banding in your neck. And so I think that's probably the biggest shift in 2024. And in general, I seldom agree with the shifts because they're usually all media driven and marketing and tabloids and a bunch of junk. But this one actually made sense because in the past, when you hit 48, you were now too old where Botox and fillers did anything. And theoretically, you were too young for a facelift. And why you were too young was nothing more than we just said so, right? And you basically had to sit around from your late 40s to your 60s. And for about a decade, you kind of just hated the way you looked. Well, we realized that was just nonsense. And once celebrities and social media and the general public caught on to the fact that it's absolutely fine for you to do it, this idea of mini facelifts or early facelifts became a theme, and rightfully so. And reality is that when you are, let's say, Christina Aguilera, who I don't know her exact age, but let's say she's in her late 40s, early 50s, probably, I don't know, and you lose a boatload of weight and you have just a little bit of loose skin, you can now just do a facelift, but a minor one or a smaller one, and get the benefits early on. So you don't have to wait till you're, 65 and look super old, like back in the days of, Joan Rivers, for example. So we've come a long, long way. The one thing I want to stress is that, this idea that every celebrity, every time there's a change, had a facelift is just nonsense. There's so many things that you can do in the realm of just weight loss, better lifestyle, skin resurfacing, fillers and Botox and things like that don't necessarily are like some, oh my God, have you seen so-and-so? Yeah, so-and-so is taking better care of themselves and they lost. Like, take a look at, what's her name? Who's the singer? Adele. Adele, I guarantee you, just from losing weight, look 40 years younger because she became chiseled and sharp because she had a full face because she was overweight. So do not underestimate the power of weight loss in facial aesthetics. At any rate, that was just a quick snippet about celebrityism and the things that are going on. I definitely think in 2025, facelifts will continue to become a massive trend because it just cracks the can open for all the young people. I think that, lip lifts and buccal fat and little nuances are going to still be going on. And don't be fooled by what you see in the media. At any rate, that's a quick wrap. I hope you enjoyed this really quick segment. As always, share our podcast and go write us a positive review. We always appreciate it. At any rate, we look forward to chatting with you all next week on another episode of Plastic Surgery Uncensored. I'm your host, Dr. Rady Rahban, signing off.